All right, it's your boy, comedian-Edwin-Douglas, and you are on your Mike and Soul radio talk show. That's right, we're on iheart-radio, Spotify, Spreaker. Of course, we're on YouTube as well as Apple Podcast, and we will always be on demand today, tonight, tomorrow, and forever. And before I bring in our special guest, allow me to bring in my DJ sidekick, Uncle Ben. And also with our special guest co-host, he's been joining us for the last several episodes. Also, please welcome the one and only, the Boudin Man. How you doing, Boudin?
Doing wonderful and glad to be on the radio show today.
Okay. And ladies and gentlemen, every now and then I do an exclusive interview. This interview is going to be so powerful and exclusive. All the way from Milwaukee. He's not just a person, he's not just a man. He is an author. And the title of that book, The Devil Thought He Had Me. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to your Mike and Soul radio talk show, Mr. Wendell White. How you doing, my brother?
Good morning, family. I'm doing great. How about you guys?
Doing great. As I said before we started the show, this interview it need to hear your voice, your story. And ladies and gentlemen, I want everyone to sit back and listen. This ain't church. This is a radio show that's not afraid to let the truth be heard. Pastor, bishop, deacon, I don't think you guys have told your story or let your congregation tell their story so the truth can be heard. But on your mic and radio talk show, your Mike and Soul, listen, sit back, because in the moment, in a minute, in a few seconds, everybody's soul will be fed. Brother Wendell, let's do this. Let's go all the way back when you was a child. I'm going to let you go ahead and open up, because I read the book, and I need everyone to sit back and listen. Go ahead and begin when you was a child.
Well, growing up on the south side of Chicago, to a single mom. My mom had 9 children. My mom had 9 children by the time she was 30, I believe, probably a little earlier than that. And I was the second oldest to 9 children. And my mom, and there's no knock to the men that was in her life, but they didn't really know how to be men. They didn't know how to step up to the plate and be fathers. And my father wasn't present at all. And the guy that my mom was dating, who she had children by, he was there, but he was on drugs real heavy. He was addicted to crack cocaine real bad. And we ultimately, ended up going to the foster home. We was in foster care from like 87 to like 90. And I believe being in foster care with the parents, with our foster parents, they were so valuable in my life at that tender age, because I was at the make me or break me stage of, because my mom really never nurtured us. She didn't never really teach us anything that was going to help us benefit in society. And there's no knock to my mom. My mom was only teaching us what she was taught. So we went to foster care, and this is where I learned how to read and write. You know, I was put on the south side. I was placed on the south side of the south suburbs and University Park with a great family. Me and one of my brothers, we were together, and man, it was a great family. The Whitfield family, man, and I still communicate with them to this day, because I thank them for a lot of things that they taught me. This was the first time I have ever witnessed a man get up every morning with a briefcase and a suit and go to work, because I've never seen that before being in foster care. So he instilled in us hard work and dedication, and they ultimately taught me how to why education was important. And it was the first time that somebody had ever sat down with me and did homework, and sat down with me and helped me go over spelling words and things of that nature. So all of those things growing up as a child that we take for granted and we don't think that's viable or we don't think that's needed, as a child, you need that. You need that. Just somebody wrapping their arms around you when you get a spelling word wrong and telling you can do it. As a child, you need that confidence. And you need that push, you know, to let you know that you can do it, because especially from coming from a mother, that nurturing, that love, man, children need that. You know, they never once did they, you know, that they when we were getting things wrong, when we were coming into their household and we had to adapt rules and regulations because where we came from, there was no rules. We didn't have rules. We were basically fending for ourselves every day. So, man, we were there we was with them for 3 years. Man, I thank God for that. Then we got returned back to our mother's cousin, and it was a struggle for me at first. I struggled with that at first because this was the first time in my life that I was able to be a child. I was able to be 8 years old, 9 years old, 10 years old. I didn't have to be a 8-year-old adult. I didn't have to worry about was the food gonna be done when I got out of school. I didn't have to worry about how were my clothes was I gonna have clean clothes, or do I have to watch my sisters and brothers? Do I have to get them up for school? I didn't have to worry. For 3 whole years, I never had to worry about that. So coming back home to my mom, I kind of struggled with that because I had fell in love with the love that I was getting from my foster parents. So the first month or two, man, it was real hard for me. I cried every night. I used to cry every night because I wanted them. I wanted to go back to them. And upon arrival, everything was it was a culture shock. As soon as we returned to my mom, I'm talking about within the couple of hours of being back in custody of my mom, it was a total culture change. It was a total culture shock. We went from University Park, you know, the nice house with the grass and, you know, residential neighborhood, and everybody has green grass, and we pulled up to a 16-story project building. Guys all outside, just hanging all outside. They smoking their marijuana. They drinking. There was no grass. It was just all dirt. It was just a change. It was a total change. And from being as a child, going from this environment to that environment, it was actually scary. You know, it kind of scared you, like, whoa, what are we what are we in? You know, like, man, I'm not used to this anymore. And then we got to the apartment. We stayed in apartment 801, 3919 South Federal. That's on the south side of Chicago, in the Robert Taylor CHA Housing Authority. Robert Taylor Homes, it was what they called them. And, man, when we walked in the door, man, I just remember it was just an empty apartment. My mom had no furniture. Only thing we had was the stove and the refrigerator that came with the apartment, and in every bedroom it was a bed. No headboards, no dressers, no nothing. But the front room, we didn't have no couches, no tables, no TVs. We didn't have nothing. So then it was just like, man, my heart was troubled as a kid because I just came from where we had our own room. With, we had furniture. We had everything that a child needed to grow in life. We had that. And now we was back here, and man, it was just total. It was disappointing. It was disappointing.
It was almost like saying the devil snitch on peace and joy on kids that who had an opportunity to live a better life. And you had an opportunity to live it, appreciate it, prayed, been thankful, knowing that you had your brothers and you were able to, like you say, follow a man leadership every morning. Having someone to be there to make sure your homework is done, sleeping in a bed, a good bed with fresh, clean air. Somehow, the devil sends someone to snitch on your peace and joy. And with all that has been reversed, you're like, damn, what happened as a kid? And as a kid would not fully understand what's really, really, really happening, even though you were back with your mother, your biological mother. And as a kid, it's very hard for some kids to understand what God is doing. I have to say that for those who just listening. Our special guest, the author Wendell White, and just want to fill in the blank for those who just now trying to understand what's going on here. Go ahead, Wendell.
Yeah, that's so true, and and as a child, you're right, man. We don't understand that. We don't understand, why, because my first thoughts was, why did they send us back here? I didn't openly say that to my mom, but these were my thoughts every night. And I can remember the first time laying down in the bed going to sleep, how I just cried. I cried and I called out for my foster mom, and I just called her name until I fell asleep because I just wanted to go back home. Like, that was my home. I was cool with seeing my mom on the visitations and things like that, but the reality was I didn't want to go back to my mom. And that may sound cruel. A person may say, well, why would you say that? Because I enjoyed being a kid. I enjoyed that. I knew I never had that, and I enjoyed that. So, to make a long story short, man, we there now. We here. There's no turning back. And just like as an adult, you just learn to adapt. You will learn to adapt to the situation. So that's what I end up here to do. And we had to be home a good month or two. And before my uncle, my uncle. No, I'm gonna take that back. We was home about 3-4 hours. My uncle pulled up, my mom's brother. He pulled up to come see us. We haven't seen him. This is my uncle who I looked up to. We haven't seen him all the time while we was in foster care. He never came to see us because he used to tell my mom and them he never wanted to see us like that. He never wanted to leave us, so he never came. So when we got home about an hour or two after being home, he came and seen us. We came downstairs. And I noticed, like, he was driving a Porsche. Like, I knew what it was. Like, at 10, 11 years old, I knew, like, man, this car got a horse on the front of it, like. And man, driving a Porsche. I didn't know what my uncle was doing, but I knew it was just something different about him. Like, I could tell he had money. I could tell that, you know, it was just something different about him. So he piled all us up in the Porsche. All my mom's 4 oldest children that were taken in foster care. He piled us all in the little Porsche. You know how little a Porsche is.
Right.
He piled us all in the Porsche, and we left. And we went and met up with one of his other girlfriends, gave him another car that they was driving, 4-door sedan, so we can all fit. Then he took us shopping. And man, I'll never forget. We even with going shopping was different from the way that these last 3 years how we would go shopping with my foster parents. In the south suburbs, we had a mall. We went to a mall. That was the first time that I've ever been inside of a mall when I went into foster care. Didn't know what a mall was until foster care. And the person may say, well, how didn't you know what a mall was? That because if you've never been introduced to these type of things, you hear about them, but have you ever actually walked into a mall?
Right.
So, man, even the shopping experience was different. He took us we went on 63rd and Halsted. It was this long strip mall from 63rd and from 60. It started on 63rd and Halsted, and it ended like on 65th and Halsted. But it was just, and that's in Chicago, Illinois. But it was just one long strip. It wasn't no building. It was just stores on the strip. So even with that, it was totally different from what I had got accustomed to being around these last 3 years. So man, we went in this store, and man, he just told us to get what we wanted. He told me and my 3 siblings, he said, man, y'all just get what y'all want. And man, we got to asking them, like, because even in foster care, you know, they taught us in foster care that you don't need $100 shoes to be who you are. Just be who you are. You great the way you are. Like, you don't have to try to be in the in crowd. And one thing that I learned about being out there, that everybody was the same. Like, black, white, we was all the same. Like, I didn't have friends that wore Jordans and stuff like that. You know, that wasn't the goal to come to school and try to you know, be the fashion king or queen, the best dressed. Man, they was actually sending their children to school to get an education, and nothing else mattered. And that's what we had got accustomed to. So I remember picking up a pair of shoes in the store that I liked, and my uncle said, "No, nephew, no, get these." And he picked up some Jordans. So where I was just these last 3 years that where I was just at, like I said, it was totally different because they didn't prize us on things of, like, that wasn't significant to us. That didn't mean nothing to them. Bringing home A's and B's meant more than going to buy a pair of Jordans. So when he said that, man, I kind of looked at my brothers them, and so my other brothers them was like, well, can I get a pair of that? He was like, yeah, man, get what y'all want. And he really meant that, like, get what we want. So, man, now we going through the store. Now we just, now every shoe we grabbing Jordans now. Like, I want these. Because now, like, these are the seeds that you're planting. And the seeds that he's planting already, they're already starting to manifest themselves that quick in us because we're children. And man, he ended up buying all of us like 2-3 pairs of shoes a piece and like 10 outfits a piece. But that wasn't even the part that got us. It was the amount of money that he pulled out to pay for this stuff. Like, I was used to my foster parents. We didn't see money with them. They had credit cards and bank cards and stuff like that. Like, when we went to stores and stuff with them to buy clothes, man, they paid for stuff with credit cards. So even that was just totally different. Man, he pulled out this big wad of money. And I remember the guy, they rung it up. The stuff came up to almost like $3,000. And after he finished paying for it, it's like the bankroll never decreased. It was like it was like, man, it never went nowhere.
Right.
So it was like, man, I looked at my brothers and sisters, man, and you know, as a tender age, of you 10, 11 years old, man, you just only thing you could do is laugh.
Mm-hmm.
Only thing you could do is just laugh at yourself, like, and be wild about all the money. Like, look at all this money. Look at all this money. You know. Right. So man, we left there. You know, we had a good time. We left there, and we trying to get settled in. A month or two went past, and then that's when it really started. My mom ended up, one day we came home from school. This is what happened. One day we came home from school, and the house was completely furnished. We had white furniture. I don't know why my uncle went and bought us white furniture, but he went and bought us white furniture. And man, the house was completely furnished, and we had a telephone, and we didn't have a telephone before. And man, we was in the house about 10 minutes, and the phone was just constantly ringing. And every time my mama answered the phone, she'd say, Las Vegas. She'd just say that, Las Vegas, and hang the phone up. So as children, you know, we don't understand, but we just keep hearing this phone ring. Now, my mom wasn't the type of mom that stayed home with us. So she would leave, like we'll come home from school, she'd hit the door. She out of there. She gone. So now she'll tell us, like, man, y'all stay in the house, and I want y'all to answer the phone. When somebody call the phone, y'all tell them Las Vegas. That's all y'all got to say is Las Vegas. So now, as 9, 8, 9, 10, 11-year-olds, we answering the phone. But still, we don't have no clue about why are we answering this phone and what's going on. All we know is Las Vegas. That's all we know. Just say Las Vegas. So over the months, we doing this every day. It done got to the point the phone rings so much, man. My mom would wake us up for school and ask one of us, like, which one of y'all want to stay home from school? Because I need y'all to answer the phone. We still don't know what's going on with this phone because we're children. Mm-hmm. So we still don't understand the multitude of what's going on. But I'm telling you, at 8 o'clock in the morning, from 8 o'clock in the morning to 2 o'clock a.m., from 8 o'clock a.m. to 2 o'clock a.m., this phone would get 100,000 calls. Like, we couldn't even use the phone for ourselves. Like, if we wanted to call 911, we couldn't even call 911. That's how this phone was ringing. That much. So we still don't know what's going on. And this is how I found out my mom and my uncle now sold drugs. And this is when I found out. This is when I realized that I was going to sell drugs.
I want you to hold that thought.
Okay.
Boudin, I want you to hold your question. Because we're at the bottom of our hour. I want everybody to hang on. And when we come back from this, it's going to go deeper and deeper, ladies and gentlemen. You're on your mic and radio. You're on your mic and soul radio talk show. Don't nobody go nowhere. Stay right where you are.
My name is Jamie Loftus, and I'm here to tell you about my new show, Lolita Podcast. Lolita by Vladimir Nabokov is one of the most controversial works of all time, and our culture has done its protagonist a huge disservice over the years. I've spent the last few months getting to the bottom of how America turned this abused young girl into a sex symbol, and what that says about us. New episodes drop weekly on Mondays. Listen to Lolita Podcast on the iHeart-Radio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Hello, Earthlings. It's Kesha. I'm so excited to be bringing you my new podcast, Kesha and the Creepies. You may know me from my party jams like We Are Who We Are and TikTok, but it's my curiosity for the unexplainable, the mystical, the magical that drives these conversations with exciting pop culture guests and experts in the occult and all things creepy. Listen and follow Kesha and the Creepies on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Coming up at the top of the hour, right about 4 minutes after, it's my strawberry letter for today. The subject, does he have a problem or am I the problem? We'll get into it, but first, the nephew is here with today's prank phone call. What you got, Neff?
I dropped your wife.
What? Really?
I dropped your wife. I mean, it happens sometimes.
Okay.
All right, let's go, Cat Dog. I dropped your wife.
Hello?
Hello, I'm trying to reach Tony.
This is Tony.
Tony, how you doing? This is Nephew Tommy.
Hey, Nephew Tommy. I can't believe you're calling me. Oh, my God.
You sent an email in to prank your
Yes. Oh, my God. I sent that like months ago. I didn't think you were going to call me.
Yes, I'm calling you now. How long y'all been married?
8 years.
Okay.
8 years. That's my heart.
Okay. Let me ask you something. What makes your husband just go off? What can I do that you know that's a button for him that you don't want to push?
Anything that has to do with me. Let me tell you, he is crazy about me. If anybody mess with me, if anybody tries to go off on me, he will lose it.
Okay.
Oh, what are we going to do? I'm so excited. Oh, my God.
All right. Okay. You know what? Okay, check this out.
Okay.
Can you click over on the three-way? Can you call him?
Okay, I can call it from my phone. If you're going to be on the phone, right?
Yeah, I want him to think that I got your phone.
Okay.
I tell you what, you just click over and get him on the line. Just click over. So when you click back, you can't say nothing else. You got to be quiet.
Okay.
Because at the end, I'm going to let you talk to him, okay?
Okay, hold on. Tommy, you there?
I'm here.
Okay, it's ringing.
All right, you hit mute or something, okay?
Okay.
Hey, what's up, babe? No, this, how you, is this Darren? Yeah, this Darren. Who is this? Hey, we got a bit of a situation with Tony, man. Yeah, we got a situation for real. This is my wife's phone. Who is this? Actually, man, bro, who is this? We're trying to get, Tony actually twisted her ankle, man, so we got to get her to the emergency room and get her checked out. She twisted her ankle. How'd she twist? Wait, back up. Who did you say, who is this? How did Tony twist her ankle? Actually, she fell. Man, look, my wife is with her mom right now. Who are you? How'd you twist her ankle? And why are you calling me? Why isn't her mother or somebody calling me? Who is this? You never told me your name, bro. No, I'm a friend, man. She didn't fall. I actually dropped her. Whoa. How did you drop her? What do you mean you dropped her? We had a couple of drinks at the hotel, man, and she... Wait. Hotel? What do you mean a hotel? My wife's supposed to be over her mom's house. Now you calling me from her phone talking about you dropped her? Y'all at some hotel? Why y'all even at a hotel? What the hell are you talking about a hotel, bro? Where the is my wife? Where is Tony? Why ain't Tony on the phone? You gotta calm down, man. You calling me from my wife's phone, talking about she hurt? You dropped her, y'all at a hotel? She's supposed to be at her mom's house? Bro, where's my wife, man? Tony, I got it. Just hang on. Tony, I got put my wife on the phone, man. Hey, dude, I need you to calm down, man. No, I need you to this, man. No. You talking about y'all about to go to the emergency room? You dropped my wife, y'all at the hotel? No, just put my on the phone before y'all be in the emergency room. Hey, man, listen, you got to calm down. Tony already embarrassed about you. I don't even know who the hell you are. You still ain't told me your name. Put Tony on the phone, bro. Listen, man, you got to chill out, man. I'm just a friend, okay? Man, I'm a friend. I tell you what. In the emergency room. Tell me where y'all at. I'll come to the hotel. I'll get my own wife and take her wherever she needs to be. Tell me where you at. As soon as Tony get dressed, man, I'm going to get her there, okay? What? As soon as she get dressed? What do you mean? Hey, man, real talk. Dog, where y'all at, man? Put Tony on the phone, man. I'm not putting Tony on you too irate, man. Why are you screaming and hollering, dude? I swear to God. If I find out where y'all at, I'm going to come over there. It's going to be love for you and Tony. Hey, man. Where y'all at, bro? I'm cool. Where y'all at? Tell me where y'all at. No. I tell you what, man. I'm going to get Tony's ankle taken care of, and we'll get somebody to drop her back off at the house, okay? I'll drop her off at the house, man. Just tell me where y'all at. I want to come get my wife. I want to make sure she gets the treatment that she needs, bro. Tell me where y'all at. Don't go nowhere. I want you to be there when I come get her. Don't go nowhere. Where y'all at? I can't do it. I mean, we didn't. Get Tony on the phone, man. Put my wife on the phone. I'm not. Listen, let me talk to my wife, bro. Hey, man, it's a reason why I'm calling, man. She embarrassed about all of this. And now she gonna be more than embarrassed when, hey, okay, it's cool. Ain't gonna need to be embarrassed. I love her, man. That's my girl, man. Let me holler at my wife, bro. Please, that's all I'm at. my wife on the phone, man. That's all. That's my last time asking you, dog. I promise this. Hey, man, what? But see, man, you too outright, man. You too outright. Put my wife on the phone, bro. That's all I'm saying. You gotta leave town. That's what I'm saying. You got to leave town, my man. You gotta leave town. You want to talk to Tony? You want to talk? Let Tony decide if she want to talk to you or not. Okay? Yeah. Let us decide. Tony, do you want to talk to him, Tony? Don't even ask him. Hey, man, let's shut up, man. We'll see what Tony want to do. Tony, on the phone. Hey, man. Pull up, bro. Pull up. I don't even know you, man. Put it on the phone. You scared to give me your name. Tony, you want to talk to him? Hell yes, you want to talk to me, man. I don't even know why you keep asking those junk questions. Give her the phone. Okay. Phone bill. Tony. Here she is, man. Yeah.
Hey, baby.
Hey, baby. Go what you at?
Baby.
Who are you with, Tony? Hey, baby. Tony, look. I don't have time for games. Where you at and who you with. That's all you got to tell me.
Baby, just calm down. I got something to tell you, okay?
Where are you, Tony?
Baby, listen to me. Baby, you got to listen to me.
I'm listening.
Are you listening?
Yes.
Listen to me real carefully, okay?
Where you at, Tony?
Baby, are you listening to me?
Yes, I'm listening.
Baby, you just got pranked by nephew Tony.
All right, that's nephew Tom from the Steve Harvey Morning Show, and you're on your Mike and Soul Radio Talk Show. Fella, can nephew Tom get y'all that cold-blooded, man? Either one of y'all?
That was deep, brother.
That was deep, man. That was deep.
My man was hot. He let the whole world know he is crazy about his wife. Yes, sir.
That's right.
Oh, well, all right. We at the second half of the show, and for those just now tuning in, I'm the host, comedian-edwin-douglas, right along with my DJ sidekick, Uncle Ben. Of course, my guest co-host, the Blue Dan Man, and a special guest, an exclusive interview with the author, Wendell White. We're at the second half of the show, and before we went on the break to get our laugh on, Wendell was explaining to all of us he didn't understand why they were answering the phone. He did not understand why the phone keep ringing until he finally understood that his mother and uncle was selling drugs, drug relation. Tony, go ahead and pick it up from there. I'm sorry, Wendell, go ahead and pick it up from that, Wendell.
So, one winter, my uncle here took me and my brother to California with him to go see his two children that had moved from Chicago to California. We supposed to have been there for the entire 2 weeks, our 2-week vacation for winter break, but our visit was cut short because something had happened. He had got a call that something had happened, so we jumped back on the next Amtrak, and we left California and got back home. So now we in the car when we get picked up from Union Station by one of his buddies. They in the car and they just talking. But I'm listening as they talking. I'm listening, and I can hear that that somebody robbed one of his drug houses for like $50,000-$60,000, and they know who the guy is, and they just talking. They talking in front of us. They trying to talk in the cold, but it's really hard to really talk in a cold when we're right there in the back seat. So man, they went to this one house, picked up a bag, and then they dropped me and my brother off at my auntie house. So when we get to my auntie house, my auntie stayed on 45th and Evans. My uncle told my brother to go in the back, and he said, nephew, I need you to do something for me. And I'm like, and I'm looking, one thing, me and my uncle, we had a real good relationship. Like I said, I loved my uncle, man. I wanted to be just like him in every way, every shape, form, or fashion. I just wanted to be just like him, man. He'd have grown up conversations with me, like when me and him would be by ourselves. He'd talk to me about the game, talk to me about women, and talk to me. But he always emphasized to me, like, nephew, I need you to stay in school, do the right thing, don't get to joining these gangs. But he never talked to me about no type of drugs. So on that night, man, he pulled out a big wad of money. He said, nephew, man, this $50,000. He said, man, I'm finna put this in your pocket. Don't go outside. Don't let nobody in this house until your auntie get home from work. So he put the $50,000 in my pocket. Then he gave me a bag full of money. It was like $250-some thousand in a bag, in a black plastic bag. And he said, nephew, I'm finna put this in the hallway closet. Only you know where this at. Don't open the door for nobody. He kept on telling me, don't open the door for nobody. Don't tell nobody. When your auntie get here, you let her know where I put the money at, and you give her the money and that's in your pocket, and tell her I'll be back to get the money. So he left, and right then and there, like, I knew, like, okay, Unc sell drugs, and I'm just piecing together the conversation that him and the guy was having in the car, and I'm like, okay, Unc sell drugs. So I knew, like, once he left, I got the money from where he put the money at. I went in the bathroom. Back in the 90s, it wasn't no cell phones, it wasn't no social media, nothing like that. So, man, I went in the bathroom, shut the door, and I just took the money and just started, playing with it in front of the mirror. Like I was taking pictures with it, crossing my hands with wads of money in my hand, and I'm like, yeah, I'm telling myself, like, yeah, I'm going to sell drugs like my uncle. So, man, right after that, man, my mom ended up moving. We ended up moving to the south, to the deeper part of the south side of Chicago. We call it the Wild Hunters, in Chicago, we call it, is known like the Wild Hunters. So we ended up moving to 113th and Edbrook. And, man, my cousin them lived right around the corner on 114th and 4th. That was like 2 blocks over from where we stayed at. And, man, one day we woke up with to my cousin them house, and, man, the crib is cracking. I'm talking about they selling drugs on a massive level out there. Like, I'm talking about they making $40,000-$50,000 a day selling dime bag crack cocaine. I'm talking about just like the phones was ringing, just like the phone was ringing at my house. This is how some people knocking on their door every 2 seconds. They coming to the door. And what I've noticed is, man, all of my cousins that's 12, 13, 14 years old, they selling drugs. Man, they got it cracking. They selling the drugs. So I didn't start selling drugs right then because my mom ended up moving to Milwaukee. But we was in Milwaukee for about 2-3 years. Man, my mom was in a real bad car accident. She broke like 80% of her body. She had broke. She was in a wheelchair. The doctors told my grandmother that she'd never walk again. And, man, we was just at a real, real dark place. We was in a real, real bad time. And now my mom had moved from Chicago to Milwaukee. I had seen my mom progress in a way that I've never seen my mom. Like, this was the first time I ever seen my mom have a job. And the whole entire time I've been alive, this is the first time my mom was doing quite well for herself. We were getting the necessities of things that we needed, and she was, even giving us some extras. We were staying in nice clothes, nice shoes because my mom was working. The price of living was not the way it is right now. Back in 90, it was like 92, 93.
Going in and out. Okay.
Right. So my mom, she was in a car accident. So, man, we was moving on up, then we went moving on back down. And my aunties them had to come to Milwaukee to come help us, and everything was just bad, man. It was just so bad. It was terrible. Like, now we were back in the situation of, not getting clothes and not getting shoes. And, man, now I'm going into high school. Man, you a high schooler going into school, and you got holes in your shoes, and you got 2-3 pair of pants that you sharing with your brother. and every other day, you know, you finding the reason why not to go to school. So man, I just got tired of that. I said, you know what, man, I gotta get up out of here. Like I gotta go do something to generate some money. And by now I'm 13, 14 years old. Everything that I had learned as a child from seeing my foster dad go to work and come home every day, I wasn't thinking about that no more, because now I have been exposed to the drug life. I have been exposed to selling drugs and how quick you can go make $100 selling drugs in 5 minutes instead of going to punch somebody's clock and you make $300 in 2 weeks. So I came up with a plan. I came up with a plan. I said, you know what? My mom, this when they were still getting food stamps and they were still paper food stamps. They was getting them in the book. I said, I'm going to break $1 every day. I'm going to break $1 food stamp every day until I get $15 to catch the Greyhound from Milwaukee back to Chicago to get up with my cousin them that was selling drugs. And I talked to my cousin, you know, asked them to send me money. Like, man, send me some money, man, so I can buy me some shoes. And they always tell me, like, man, you better come down here. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going back to Chicago. So, man, it took me about 2-3 weeks. Every day I steal $1 food stamp out of my mama's food stamp, and I go to the corner store and I bust $1. I spend 30 cents there, give me 70 cents back. And I did this for about 2-3 weeks until I got the money to go back to pay for me a ticket to go back to Chicago. And, man, that's what I did. And that ultimately, man, changed my entire life by doing that. I'm talking about what we thought was we was having this good life of the money. I just didn't know so much heartache and pain was going to come with selling drugs. I didn't know how much heartache and pain was going to come with gang banging. I didn't realize the scale of that because I was still naive to the fact of you're not the only person sell drugs. It's everybody that's selling drugs, and everybody want a piece of this money, and people are dying every day for a piece of this money. And, man, once I got back to Chicago and I got back up with my cousins now, man, life as I knew it changed. I didn't even understand how I appreciated the struggle that I was going through with my mom until I started going through the hell that I was going through selling these drugs and gang banging. And, man, every night it was something. It was nonstop shooting every single day. They used to throw cocktail bombs through my grandmother's windows trying to burn the house down. I remember one night they threw a Molotov cocktail bomb through the house. And the glass, it came through the window, and the whole bottle shattered in my little brother's face. He was laying on the floor, and the bottle of gasoline shattered right in his face. And it was just by the grace of God that the flames had went out. Or I know for a fact my little brother he was about 4 or 5 years of age. He would have burned to death right there on that front room floor. And yeah, man. So as we getting older and older, man, we begin to.
So let me ask you this.
Yes.
Tell us the most powerful trial and tribulation that made you turn your life around by you selling drugs before you decide to walk in the right direction. The most powerful.
You know what? It was June 22nd, 1999. I was 18 years old, and I was supposed to have been going to a birthday party. I was supposed to have been going.
You're in and out. Are you directly in your? You got another device near you? Because they got you in and out.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
No, I can hear you now.
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
It was June 22nd, 1999. Supposed to have been going to this place called Disney Quest, It was a attraction in downtown Chicago. It was the most popular thing that was going on at that time in Chicago, and everybody was trying to get there, get their kids' birthday parties there. And I was invited there by one of my friends. It was his son's birthday, and I was on 63rd and Hostess shopping, getting me an outfit to go to the party, and my pager went off. And I looked at my page. I seen who it was. I knew who it was. So I went to a payphone and I called him. I said, well, what's going on? It was my uncle, the one who I looked up to all my life. I said, what's going on? He asked me, he said, now you got some work? And I'm like, yeah. And work is what we call crack cocaine. So he was like, now my uncle, he was down on his luck. He had went from having millions to he was broke. He ain't had no money. He said, yeah, can you meet me where he was at? And I said, yeah. I said, man, let me finish shopping, and I'm gonna slide on you. So I finished getting my clothes and stuff together. So, man, I end up going to get him. I end up sliding on the way he was at. I met him at his kid's mother's house. He was about to take his boys to baseball practice. So we end up talking. Man, him may have been having some differences. You know, we weren't really seeing eye to eye. So I was just talking to him. We was standing on the porch and we was just talking. He was just telling me, you know, the things that he was mad at me about and what he was upset with me about. And I'm understanding, but at the end of the day, I'm 18 years old. I'm having money. I ain't trying to hit nothing that he's talking about. Like, man, I'm not trying to hit that, you know, because I'm thinking at the time, like, man, nigga, you just hate me because I'm getting money and you broke. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to hit nothing that you talking about. So he was like, man, go with me to drop my boys off at baseball practice. So I'm like, cool, because I always loved his sons. Like, man, it was my little guys. I always had a real liking for them. It was like my favorite two cousins. So man, we dropped them off, and when we dropped them off, he told one of his sons, he said, leave that bat in the back seat. Y'all use y'all friends. Y'all use one of y'all friends, or y'all ask y'all coach, can y'all use his bat? But y'all leave the bat in the car. I'm not paying no attention to it. I'm just riding with him, you know. So he was like, man, nephew, let's go to the 100th and go pick up one of my guys. I'm like, all right, cool. So long story short, man, we end up riding. I end up never going to the birthday party. I missed the birthday party. It's like 4, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So we go out to eat, and we steady talking. Now we just chopping it up. We talking. I'm never knowing what was about to happen to me. So we pulled up on 71st and Dorchester. That's on the south side of Chicago. We pulled up on this street, 71st and Dorchester. When we pulled up, I seen there was a group of guys out there, but I know from being from Chicago, and they was in a rival gang from what I was, so I didn't get out the car with them. I told my uncle, man, y'all go holler at y'all guys. I'm going to sit in the car because, man, we took that gang stuff serious in Chicago, you know, and I knew, like, if they found out I was part of a rival gang, it was not too much that my uncle can really do to save me. You know what I'm saying? Even though I was with him, it's always one ignorant one out there that'll be, man, we don't care who you is, woo, woo. So I'm like, man, y'all just sit in the car. I'm like, I'll just sit in the car. You go talk to your homies, and, man, when y'all ready to go, just, man, we can go. So he was out there for like 5 minutes. He ended up jumping back in the car, and he pulled in this alley and behind this bandit building. So he was like, man, I'm about to hide the work in this building, nephew, give me a minute. So I'm like, okay, cool. So when he said that, I jumped out the car because I had to go take a leak. I jumped out the car, went to the gangway of the abandoned building to take a leak. So I'm not even paying him no attention because I'm thinking he hiding the drugs that he just got. And, man, while I'm standing there taking a leak, man, he hit me in the back with the bat. Oh. So I turn around. I'm like, man, what you on? So he like, man, you know what time it is. So he swung the bat again. When he swung the bat again, I kind of pushed him out the way and broke and ran out the gangway and towards the alley because I'm about to run. I'm just about to run to my safety. I'm just trying to get away now. Soon as I ran out of the gangway to the alley, all the guys that he was just talking to, they were standing right there. So I ran right into their arms. And, man, they just began to beat me. One of the guys picked me up, and he just body slammed me so hard that like took all the wind out of me. And now they just stomping me, beating me. My uncle, he hit me in my legs with the bat. He steady hitting me in my legs with the bat. And now they're just stomping me and beating me, stomping me and beating me. Then one of the guys, he picked me up and he slammed me on my knees and he put my arms behind my back. And he was stepping on the back of my legs, like on my calves, so I couldn't move. And he had my arms behind my back, and he was just beating me. Now they all just taking turns beating me. They just beat me. They beat me. So I'm looking at the ground, and I'm watching a drop of blood, and it just turning into a puddle. And they just all taking turns beating me. So I'm asking my uncle, man, why you doing this to me? Like, why you doing this to me? And he like, man, this ain't got nothing to do with you. Nephew, this ain't got nothing to do with you. It's about them guys. I want you to call them guys, and I want $250,000. Tell them we want $250,000, or we gonna kill you. So I'm like, man, you betraying me over the money? Like, you doing this to me over the money? Like, and but all the time they just take a turn. They still beat me while he talking to me. They just all still beat me. They just beat me. They beat me, you know. So I began to yell because I was so mad. I was so hurt. I was mad, hurt. I was everything. And I really just wanted, man, if y'all gonna kill me, kill me. But I got to yelling and screaming like, and, you know, because I couldn't fight back. I couldn't do nothing. And he told me, he said, man, if you don't shut the fuck up, excuse my language, I'm gonna hit you in your mouth with this bat. So, man, I just put my head down, and, man, they just continue to just beat me. They continue to just beat me. And then, man, I told him, I said, man, I'm going to make a phone call, man. I said, man, I ain't got no $250,000, but, man, I can get you $50,000 and a half a kilo of cocaine, man, if y'all just don't kill me. And he was like, man, you better make that phone call or we going to kill you, whatever. And they opened the back of the trunk of the car. And the big dude that was standing on my hands, on my legs and holding my arms, man, he picked me up and he put me in the trunk of the car. And, man, they shut the trunk. And man, I could feel the car drive off. And then now I'm in the back seat. I'm in the back of the trunk. And he driving all the time. While they driving, he's talking to me through the car. He's talking to me. He's steady trying to tell me, like, nephew, this ain't got nothing to do with you. It don't got nothing to do with me, but you doing it to me, you know. But at the same time, I'm trying not to get too hostile with him. And then I'm hurt. Like, I'm not even talking about the physical pain. I'm emotionally hurt. I'm broke. Like, I feel so betrayed. Like, my uncle did this to me. I can't believe somebody who I looked up to. So then I heard a voice, man. I heard this voice told me while I was laying there, he said, pray. So told me to pray. And at this time, I knew nothing about Jesus Christ. I knew nothing about God. I knew nothing about none of this type of stuff. He told me I heard the voice told me to pray. So I began to pray, and I began to ask God to forgive me for everything that I had done, every sin that I committed, and I began to just pray. And, man, after I finished praying, I was thinking about my son. He was 19 months at the time. Man, I just got this peace came over me. This peace from somewhere just came over me. I stopped crying. I took my shirt that I had just bought, and I wiped my face with it, and I could tell I can see the blood, all the blood on the shirt from the reflection of the lights and stuff that's in the trunk of the car. And I could just tell I was just full of blood, but I just got this peace that came over me.
Mm-hmm. Hallelujah.
And I stopped crying and doing everything. So now I'm just really sitting back waiting. I'm just waiting. Whatever y'all do, y'all gonna do. If y'all gonna kill me, y'all gonna kill me. Whatever y'all gonna do, I'm ready to face whatever y'all gonna do. I'm ready to face it now. And it's like this. I can't explain the peace that I had over me. Even at that time, I thought I was about to lose my life. It no longer scared me. I wasn't bothered by that. So the car stopped. And I heard the trunk open. So when the trunk opened, I thought they were going to shoot me when the trunk opened. So I scooted all the way to the back where I could feel the back seat of the car. And then, man, the trunk opened and the big guy, that had put me in the trunk, he said, man, we gonna let you go. We about to let you go. So he picked me up and he laid me on the side of a garbage can. And they jumped in the car, man, and they drove off. And then some guys walking through the alley, they found me. They thought I was dead. I was covered in blood. They thought I was dead. The one guy was like, man, it's a dead body right here. So when he walked up on me, I looked at him, and I was blinking. I believe I was blinking. That's how he found out I wasn't dead. And he said, man, he ain't dead. He alive. He was like, fam, what happened to you? They was just asking what happened to me. And I didn't say nothing because I didn't want to tell them, like, man, somebody just kidnapped me for some money. Now y'all try to hold me ransom or something for some money, you know. So, man, they end up calling the police, and they end up coming to get me and took me to the hospital.
Wow. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, this is exclusive. And if you want to find out the rest of the story, he has a book. Go ahead and tell everyone, before we let you go ahead and tell everyone how they can get your book. Tell them the name of it, how they can contact you. I mean, the mic is yours. Go right ahead.
For those who want to order the book is titled The Devil Thought He Had Me. You can order it off my website at WENDELLWHITESpeaks.com, or you can also order it on Amazon. On Amazon, they have the Kindle version and they have the paperback version. And any men or young men out there, or mothers or fathers that just heard this interview and they will want, I have a mentoring program. And if you would like to for your son to be mentored, or you an adult man that needs mentoring, because, man, one thing that I found out about life and my walk in Christ, we all need a mentor. No matter how old you are, you need a mentor. So if you want to sign your son up, or you an adult man that you may need mentoring, man, hit my website, WENDELLWHITESpeaks.com, or you can go to my email address, info at WENDELLWHITESpeaks.com, and, man, leave me a message and I'll give you a free consultation. And, man, we can go from there, because I want to let you know there's no wall out here that we could not climb, and I just want to help you climb that wall and get over it. My story, I thank God for my story. I know I have a powerful testimony, but God allowed me to live through everything that I lived through to help others. And all I want to do is help you identify the purpose that God has placed in your life. Everybody on this planet has purpose, that God made you for a purpose. Everybody's not going to play basketball. Everybody's not going to play football. Everybody's not going to be a stand-up comedian. That's not your purpose. But I want to help you identify your purpose. I want to let you understand that you have purpose and you have greatness that lives in you. And if you gave me the opportunity, if I could change the way you think, I promise you I could change the way you live. All you have to do is give me that opportunity, give me your hand, and give God your heart, and watch what God do. Don't tell me what my God cannot do. God can do everything but fail, and he want to do everything in your life but fail you.
Sure. Boudin, you got 30 seconds, and I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna close. Go ahead, Boudin.
Okay, Brother Wendell, this is the best testimony I ever heard, and I would like to say something that you say to the whole world right now. The world needs to repent, pray, fast, forgive everyone who did you wrong. Ask God to forgive you, and to forgive yourself, and ask God to forgive you whatever you've done to people. God is the answer. Ain't no other answer. The White House, the President Biden, Trump, they are not the answer. Only God is the answer, from the Boudin man.
All right.
Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, what you heard, a young man shared his childhood going into a foster home. He has no control what God was taking him through. He had made several transitions in his life, in his childhood life. But remember, every child needs a voice and a leader. the leader that Wendell fell in love with were his foster parents. But as a child, he did not understand why God reversed his journey back to the foundation of his mother. But one thing that he did tell us, that he looked up to a man of his uncle. He didn't turn his back on his uncle. But at the same time, the whole time Wendell was telling his story to us, he had a track record of being obedient. He obeyed his foster parents. He obeyed his mother. He obeyed his uncle. He even obeyed the voice of God, even though he did not truly understand who this voice was. He told us he didn't know anything about faith and prayer. See, the whole time, God was with him ever since he was born.
Right.
Wendell did not realize that he had a conversation with God before birth. But when God revealed Wendell to earth, every demon knew that God had hand on Wendell White. But what Wendell did do, he always continued to wonder. But as I said before, he obeyed his faith. He obeyed God, whose faithfulness. And because of his faithfulness, Wendell White had received a calling from God, the voice of God, and he did the most ultimate promising thing that God wants all of us to do, and that is to listen to God's voice, follow God's voice, and your soul will be saved. This comedian Edwin Douglas on Your Mic and Soul Radio Talk Show. Your host, comedian Edwin Douglas, right along with my guest co-host, the Boudin Man, of course, DJ Sidekick, Uncle Ben. And you heard a powerful, exclusive story by the author, Wendell White. Until next time, peace, and may God bless all.